UFC Vegas 83 is in the books. It was a pretty fun card. We had more finishes than decisions, so that's always good. Relatively entertaining. Not too many barn burner fights, but like I said, some good finishes. Before we get into the recap, though, drop a like, subscribe, and if you haven't, go check out my TikTok. It's the same, Savage Rounds MMA. Every week I kind of do a condensed version of my picks, and then I've been giving out my favorite play and a prop of the week. The prop we've hit 2 out of 3 times since I've started doing it. One plus 700, one plus 400, and we missed on like a plus 350 knockout that I called one of the weeks. But 2 out of 3 weeks is pretty solid. We're going to continue that next week and into the new year. I'm going to start making that a regular thing. But let's get into the recap. 6-5 on the picks this week. I felt like I probably missed out on 2 of them. The Amanda Dos Santos. I don't know what her name is. I've seen it different everywhere, but probably feel like we should have gotten the decision there. I thought she won that fight. Alencar really didn't do much when she had the bit of control time and the the cage pressure, but Amanda just did so much more in that fight. It really felt like she deserved the win there. Missed on Egger. That one, it is what it is. I thought she was going to be the more physically imposing woman in there. She really wasn't. Santos was able to do very well keeping her up against the fence, landing her shots. Obviously, she was going to be the better striker in that matchup. But I thought Egger physically would be able to do more up against the cage, getting her to the ground. But actually, in turn, towards the end of the fight, Santos was the one being able to find the judo tosses and the hip tosses and stuff. So good on her. She got the win there. Melquizael Costa. I didn't really give like a full breakdown because I did it 2 weeks ago. If you saw that one, I talked about how I was worried about the early Garcia KO. He's got big power, but I was kind of not relying. I was thinking Melquizael Costa was going to be able to avoid the big shots, and in one of those big flurries Garcia throws, catch him with something in return, keep working those body kicks. He went to the grappling early, which was good, but he really wasn't able to get much out of it. And up a weight class, Steve Garcia's power is even bigger, so really good finish by Steve Garcia. Song Kenan, I was extremely wrong on. Song was not able to get past the jab like I thought he was. I thought he would be, because to me it feels like it just feels like there's not much to his game other than if you can beat that front hand that jabs and switches to a hook, and you can deal with the leg kicks, manage or be able to check, whatever. It feels like you should be able to beat him. But Song just was not able to get past that first layer, that jab. It was eating him up all night. They were both trading kicks, nothing crazy there, but just good performance from Giuseppe to really utilize that front hand and not let Song get past it. It was a good performance from him. And then Park Muniz, the other one, I kind of think we probably should have gotten the decision. I'm not as adamant about this one as I am the Hayani Amanda one. If damage is the criteria, and Muniz has more than half of the round of control time, but literally does nothing, and Park's always just trying to get out, but Muniz is just holding position. Park gets on top at the end, and he's the only one attempting damage. Like, I get it, but in my eyes, it feels like it should always go, the scorecard should always be given towards the damage, and I felt like Park should have probably gotten it there. It is what it is. It's a tough decision. It was really close. I'm not, like this one, I'm not as mad about. I think we should have gotten the decision, but it is what it is. I thought Park was going to be able to handle the takedowns from Muniz a bit better. I didn't think he was going to get stuck on bottom as easily, but he did, and that's why he lost. I guess the damage at the end of the third wasn't enough to be able to eke out the decision, but it is what it is. No more misses there. And then we hit Savage Rounds Parlay. Good. We're looking to hit next week too. This week we had Tim Elliott and Song Yadong. I felt really good about Tim Elliott in this one. Sumadarji's grappling was just not up to speed, and we hit it it was like a plus 123, so we add that in. We're up to 3.7. I want to try and get over 5 before the year ends. We were up near 10 at one point, but like I said, had a really rough end of October, early November, and starting to pick it back up now. We've hit 2 of our last 3, so we're kind of getting back into the groove. But let's do bonuses now. I finally realized I was on that side before blocking the winners and bad nights column. I didn't realize until last time when I was editing the video, so I moved it back over to the left. I'm glad I realized that, because I can see how that would be annoying. Fight of the night, kind of weird. There were no real barn burners, so I'm not giving out a bonus for fight of the night this week. I do have, I believe, 4 performances, though. Yeah, I went with 4. First up, Tatsuro Taira. I don't think he actually got one, but I thought he should have. Made the first round look easy with the grappling. In the beginning, he kind of struggled to get the takedown, but once he got on top, complete domination, always looking for the sub, looking for ground and pound. They get up, start the second round, and Tatsuro Taira hits him with a mean 1-2 down the pipe, just a straight down the pipe, and it was a really good knockout. Had a Carlos Hernandez on skates. Tatsuro runs up, gets the finish, lands a few more good strikes. I thought it was a sick knockout. I was kind of surprised he wasn't in there, but I guess there were a lot of finishes, so they had a bunch to choose from. I would have given one to him. Next up, going with Tim Elliott. Complete domination on short notice after just losing to Makayev in a fight that he was winning, but ended up losing in the third round via submission. Comes back, like I said, on short notice, and takes down a very dangerous striker in Sumadarji, who I guess it did take place at bantamweight, but I was going to say at flyweight, he's one of the bigger, I don't even want to say power punchers, because he's more like a sniper. Like, his timing and speed and accuracy is crazy, but he's one of the few true knockout punchers. I want to say knockout punchers, because it's not like he's getting a bunch of knockouts. He's one of the true dangerous punchers at 125 pounds and up a weight class. There's always a chance that was scary for Tim Elliott. He did very well. He ate a couple straights, but nothing too crazy that wobbled him or anything. Did very good with the grappling. Once he got it to the ground, it was always going to be easy. That's the biggest hole in Sumadarji's game. I was really just worried about him getting clipped early and getting finished, but he did very well. Next up, performance of the night, going with Nasrat Haqparast. This was my prop of the week on my TikTok. Nasrat Haqparast KO plus 400. It just felt like it was going to be right there for the taking. Jamie Mullarkey he plots forward. His hands, like, he keeps them up, but they're not, like, they're super separated, far out, not really up as high as you'd like them. He swings wild. The chin is always hung out there. And the speed, the power, the straight shots from Nasrat Haqparast was always going to be the answer here. He gets it done. I'm pretty sure it was in the first, yeah. Gets it done early in the first. Very good knockout. That's really how I saw that one going, so I'm pretty happy with that. Glad we hit the plus 400. That's always nice. And last performance of the night bonus, going with Khalil Rountree. You have to. Great performance. It was not on short notice for him, but taking on somebody on short notice in Anthony Smith, who's done what he's done in his career, that's never going to be an easy task. He went out there. Great performance. Obviously just landing the bigger shots. Didn't go to the well of the calf kick as much as I thought he was. When he was throwing leg kicks, it was more that Muay Thai style where you're throwing to the thigh, or like right close to their knee. And I thought he was going to eat up that calf more than he did, but he really didn't need to. He was landing a lot of good shots. The finishing sequence was really cool. Kind of floated a hand out there to distract Anthony Smith, hit him with the uppercut, and then a straight left down the pipe. Really sick. Had Anthony Smith on chicken legs, gets the finish, and the finish was funny too. He just walked up with his arm straight up, like looking at the ref like, don't make me do this. The ref stops it. Great performance from from Khalil Rountree Jr. And that's a big win for him. A win against Azamat Murzakanov would have been a good one for him too, just because a win in the rankings is always good. But again, getting Anthony Smith on short notice and being able to get that done, fantastic for him. And winners of the night and bad night, I only picked one for each. It didn't feel like anybody really fit into these categories except for these two guys. Winners has to be Khalil Rountree Jr. I guess you could go with Song getting a main event win, but it wasn't the most entertaining of fights. It was a decent scrap, but nothing crazy. You could have gone, I was thinking maybe Andre Muniz, just because that little skid he had getting back. But again, it was a very close decision. I don't know. Tim Elliott on short notice, maybe. There were a few you could have done. Steve Garcia continuing the knockout. Like, there were a few options, but the one that felt the most right for the category, whether it be winning because of how you got the fight done, the circumstances, it's all of it for Khalil Rountree. Great knockout, great finish, fantastic fight over 3 rounds, great performance, and the circumstances around it. getting a low-ranked guy to, on short notice, Anthony Smith, you're going to get to jump pretty high up in the rankings. It's just a very big win for his career. He gets to go out. And I don't know about the call-out to Alex Pereira, but with a win against Anthony Smith, you get to at least attempt something like that. He wasn't going to be able to be all crazy like that if he got a win against Azamat Mirzakhanov, but very good for him. Bad night, or like worst night, whatever you want to call it. There's only one answer here. Maybe I was considering Sumadarji, just because he was already preparing for a grappler, and if that's how he looked, Alan Nascimento was going to do the exact same thing to him, but maybe quicker, because his pure jiu-jitsu prowess is probably a bit better than Tim Elliott. What was Sumadarji doing in training? He had literally no first line of defense on the takedown. It just wasn't good for him. But I did end up going with just Shannon Ross. I didn't feel like Sumadarji was quite in this category next to Shannon Ross, but 4 on the bounce for him, all knockouts, 3 in the UFC, 1 on Contender Series. I said this last time he fought. I don't see how he gets another fight, and then here we are, he gets another fight, so I'm going to say it again. I don't see how he gets another UFC fight, but, I mean, for some random reason, we'll probably see him again in 3 months fighting a random, or fighting somebody to get them a win in their first fight. But now tomorrow, we have matchmaking. Going with these guys, Steve Garcia. I just wanted to make it an even 10, so I threw Steve Garcia in there. Andre Muniz, Sumadarji, Tim Elliott, Jamie Malarkey, Nazrat Hakprast, Anthony Smith, Khalil Roundtree Jr., Chris Gutierrez, and Song Yadong. We're going to do matchmaking for all those guys. Like I said, drop a like and subscribe. Go check out Savage Rounds on TikTok for all those extra prop picks. And I will see you guys tomorrow for matchmaking. Peace.